stop sharing and you can share your presentation.
Okay, share screen.
Great questions. Keep them coming in the Slido. Katrina, thank you for monitoring that for us.
All right, can everyone see? Oh, no.
Yes.
You can? Okay. So thank you, Margaret. And just a quick overview. This is my lovely alma mater, Dalhousie University. And one thing that I did not mention when I was introducing myself is I paid $0 to attend Dalhousie University for 3 years. And I also paid very little to attend UMB Fredericton for 2 years as well, through scholarships. I got, I think about back then, way back, I got about $10,000 worth in scholarships to attend UMB. So definitely worth it to investigate and stake your claim, as Margaret has been saying. So I also have 3 university students, and I've gone through the process with them, somewhat of applying for university and applying for scholarships through the universities. So I've been through this system a couple of times over the past few years. My daughter is about to attend Caltech to do graduate school on a full ride. So definitely lots of experience when it comes to scholarships applications. So moving on. So I'm going to talk about where to look for scholarships and also some of the information around that. And first, one of the things that I like to tell everyone is Google is your friend when it comes to scholarships. And there's lots of different ways that you can search for scholarships. And sometimes it's like, definitely, it's all about the keywords that you're using when you're searching. We'll talk about Scholarships Canada a little bit later on, which is, you know, everything all in one place as well. But perhaps you want to think outside the box a bit and Google some of the other options. So when you're looking for it, there's a bunch of keywords you may want to put in. And the first is scholarship, obviously. I mean, it makes sense. But also words like bursary. Sometimes bursaries are more a one-time thing. They can be small, they can be large, but everything adds up as you're applying. So you want to find everything you can. Grant, sometimes grants are through the government or through different organizations that give you money. Sometimes there's an expectation with that. Educational awards, another buzzword to put in. And then the last is prize. Sometimes when different smaller organizations are advertising for their scholarships, they may use the word prize because that's what it is. You're winning the scholarship. So those are just some buzzwords to use. Certainly in this day and age, we have to really use our Google or Bing or whatever you want to use, but it's definitely your friend and it's always in your hand with cell phones. So if you think of something, put one of these words and then search whatever organization or whatever type of scholarship or prize that you're looking for. Some of the different ways you can search for scholarships. Firstly, the ones that are school or program specific. Again, this is the Health Sciences building at Dalhousie University. I graduated as a physiotherapist, and I've been a physiotherapist for many years. But I'm currently, as I said, working as an MFS coordinator. So what you want to look for when you're applying for a school or program specific is definitely look on the actual program's website. Look under financial aid, look under scholarship, that sort of thing. I'm just going to escape out of this and I just want to show you. So my youngest daughter goes to UBC and this is under financial planning in UBC, and these are all the different scholarships that you can apply for at UBC. And some of them are entrance scholarships, some of them are scholarships that are connected to the university or that the university has specific scholarships for. So always go on to your program, whether it's college, university, that sort of thing. And so the next thing that you want to keep in mind, is it part of the application? Is it separate? Or is it something that you, when you apply to the university, you are applying directly to the scholarships, or college for that matter, to the scholarships? And the big thing that you have to keep in mind too is there may be a separate essay, a separate form that you have to fill out, and also the deadlines. UBC, for example, their deadline is earlier if you are applying for a scholarship. Some of the other colleges may be in the same time, but you just have to keep that in mind and keep it straight when you're applying. When you're applying to specific programs, your high school guidance or college and career counselor is a huge asset. You can talk to them. They may have known previous students who have applied for scholarships and receive them from the university or college that you're applying for. And you can speak with them. If you are a mature student, again, you can go on the university college application form and see if there are specific scholarships available for mature students, whether they be military spouses or military members in this case. And then program or career related, physiotherapy, for example, a lot of the hospitals and medical organizations will have scholarships or grants or bursaries that are specific to physiotherapy students, or medicine is another one, or maybe it's veterinary technician or that sort of thing. So if you're applying for a specific program, definitely check out some of your local businesses that have that program as one of their staff members to see if they offer scholarships. So moving on, military related scholarships are, we've already talked about one of them a little bit, and I'll go into a little more detail, but the way that I got my physiotherapy degree paid for was actually I did ROTP. So they paid for my tuition, my books, any training that I needed, and then I got a stipend or a basically pay for the entire time that I was at university. So military can be, that can be RMC, like the picture that you see here, or it can be a civilian university if it's a specific occupation that the military is looking for. So just keep that in mind. If there's, say you want to be a nurse, or say you are looking into being a pilot or something like that, there are different options through the military itself. And then, as we've said, support our troops. Every year they give out hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships. You can look on the Support Our Troops website through CFMWS and apply. And as Margaret has mentioned before, mostly for dependents of serving military members, but also take a look on the website for that. Another military related, and this may come in with your, if you're a niece or a nephew of a military person, check out your local Legion branch and speak with them as to whether or not they offer a scholarship. I know my daughter received one of the scholarships from the Legion in Comox when we were applying. And so you want to check out them. One thing to note for the OutCan students, if anybody is on this, I think I saw a couple of names I recognized from OutCan. Local Legion branches So if you're outcan, you would apply to the last location that you were in, and then just explain that in your application that you're outcan, but your last location was this one. Margaret, I'm just seeing Margaret's answering things.
There's a question in the what is ROTP?
ROTP is Regular Officer Training Plan. So it's you're actually a military member. So, and you become an officer when you graduate from the university, and you're commissioned, provided you meet all the requirements, and then you work for the military for the next few years, depending on how many years that they have paid for you at a civilian university or at RMC. So you can Google ROTP, Canadian Armed Forces, and it will come up there. All right, so scholarship, some of the other locations, if you Google, that you'll find hidden dollars to stake your claim is, again, Scholarships Canada, which I know we're going to talk about later in more detail. But I just wanted to put the website there because it really is a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information with regards to different scholarships. But within that, you'll find scholarships that are out there from local charities, community organizations. One of the options, again, I'm going to just escape here and I'm going to go to, oh, no, I'll come back actually. So things like Girl Guides, the Scouts, some of the local organizations like the Rotary, all of these different organizations have scholarships available. I know in the, 4-H, that's a great one. Lots of different organizations. So if you are part, so maybe you were a Girl Guide for a few years, check out their website, or maybe you did 4-H, maybe you were part of a equestrian club. Maybe, all of those things. It doesn't necessarily have to be sports. Maybe it's dance, or maybe you sang in a choir, those kind of things. When you're on Scholarships Canada, or even within Google, you can put that information in. Health-related organizations, and this is where my physiotherapy background comes in. Definitely different organizations, whether it be hospitals, doctors' clinics, local small town clinics, or maybe if you have a health issue that you're being treated for, like JDRF, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, has scholarships. Different, I don't know, maybe you've had cancer. The Canadian Cancer Society, Google them. Lots of different organizations that would have scholarships available, church or religious organizations. Depending on what denomination or what religion, you may have a local establishment that has a scholarship available. Sports teams and associations. Do you play soccer? Check out the Canadian Soccer Association. And other local interest organizations. Maybe you're a bird watching organization or something like that. So again, tons of different places to look. And then businesses, a lot of colleges and pet volunteers, all of those things. Local businesses will often offer an internship, which is paid, which is a way to help fund your degree, but also to give you experience, which in itself is worth, it's worth a lot of money. Sorry, my earphone fell out again. So if you run out of ideas, again, Google is your friend. Google again and again and again. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is how you keep all this information straight, because as you apply for universities, as you think of ways that you can find money and ways that you can find scholarships, it's hard to keep all the information straight. So there's a couple of ways that well, in my experience and in my children's experience that we've found to organize. And the thing to keep in mind is, of course, everybody has a different organizational style. So what I show you here may be different than how you like to organize. And I put this picture up because this is beautiful, but this will never, ever be my, my office or my desk. But perhaps you're a visual person, perhaps you like to work online and have things available in your computer or iPad. So obviously, there's many different ways, but these are some suggestions that you can do. So to keep in mind, how do you best remember information? I am definitely a visual person. I need to write things down. So how I do things is all going to be kind of print-based and written down. But again, you may like to have something on a computer screen. And what do you do now? If you're a high school student, you have obviously had to keep deadlines and that sort of thing organized. So however you're working best now is probably the best way to proceed. So spreadsheets and documents are obviously one of the ways that you can keep the information. You're going to want to start early. I'm sure some of you are already here who've already applied to your colleges and your universities. So if you haven't already started applying for scholarships, now is the time to do so, to stake your claim, and you're going to want to keep your information organized right away. If this is something that you're looking into in the future, perhaps you're a mature student and you're thinking you want to apply, for a master's degree or something like that, make your spreadsheet or make your journal now. There's Google Docs, Excel spreadsheets, Word. There's also applications that you can download that will help keep you organized and make it yours. And I'm just this is where I'm gonna come back. So when my students were applying for university, we made a spreadsheet basically like this. I mean, there are a few differences, but I just wanted to show you some of the information that you're going to need to keep out there. And this is for university applications, but also I put a separate tab for scholarship applications. And on this, the nice thing about a spreadsheet is you can keep all of the information available. Like I said, maybe the application is different, different timing. You can put your websites of the different organizations. I just want to click on this. So the Lauren Scholarship is one of the scholarships that you could apply for. The eligibility criteria are here, and there's two ways that you could apply for that. High school students can be sponsored or through a direct pool. So keep those, that's one of them. Another one that you can, I mentioned Girl Guides. I just wanted to show you this because this really amazed me, being a Girl Guide myself. These are all available scholarships for Girl Guides. And notice third year, second year, first year. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your first year at university that you're applying, or a college that you're applying for a scholarship. STEM scholarships. These are all Girl Guide scholarships. So you can keep that information in a spreadsheet, or write it down if you're like me, or print it out. And then you can keep all of the information that you are looking for in that spreadsheet. Just looking. Thanks, Margaret. She's keeping an eye on. Yes, there are definitely scholarships just for community service. Can I show the first tab again? The university applications? Is that what you're looking for, Jordan? Okay, there you go. So one of the things that we found when we were applying, my kids were applying, is there's so many passwords, so many passwords. So student numbers and passwords, if you're applying to more than one university or program, it's essential to keep those there. The application deadline, and you notice I put scholarship deadline is December 1st. Some of the different information, if you've completed, and I like colors, so we used colors to red for no, we haven't submitted, or green, yes, it's submitted. And different, if you're out CAN, you need to know about SAT scores. You may not need to know that if you're in CAN. Is that good, Jordan?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, no problem. And I can give this to Margaret and she can send it out. It's just, like I said, it's a very generic document, but it can come with the after session email. All right, so going back here. So definitely spreadsheets. And then this is my last slide. Journals and planners is another way. Like I said, I'm very visual. So we had actual binders where we printed off information in a Word doc, or we wrote it down and kept track. Sometimes your password changes, you can just cross it out and write in the new one. But this is a Pinterest page. I just put in Pinterest scholarship application organizer, and this is hundreds of different ideas if you like very tidy and neat things. And then you can print off a page for each application. Google's same thing. The nice thing about having pages that rearrange, you can, as you've applied and as they've been finished, you can rearrange them so that, the more pertinent or more urgent ones are there. And then lastly, just make sure when you're applying to keep track of things like the due date. Again, I've said that if you're going to stake your claim, you have to apply by that due date. Websites, again, you notice I just clicked on the website and it was all there. Passwords, essays and other requirements, and responses from them if you've heard back or not. And that's it for me. I'm just going to stop sharing.